News reports: Pompeo criticizes Biden's administration's focus on woke agenda over Nigerian Christian persecution. The former U.S. Secretary of State and Director of the CIA, Mike Pompeo, expressed concern over the lack of attention given by the Nigerian government and the Biden administration to the ongoing murder of countless Christians in Nigeria. Pompeo warned that unless strong action is taken, the situation is likely to worsen. According to the human rights group Open Doors, last year, 90% of Christians globally who were killed for their faith lost their lives in Nigeria. This alarming figure is an increase from 80% the previous year. Given that Christians make up nearly half of Nigeria's population, the most populous country in Africa, the Nigerian government's refusal to acknowledge religious persecution is deeply troubling. Pompeo criticized the Biden administration for affirming Nigerians' denial of religious persecution instead of holding the Nigerian government accountable, as the Trump administration had done. He emphasized that during his tenure, the State Department recognized Nigerians' tolerance of violent persecution against Christians and placed the Nigerian government on the Country of Particular Concern (CPC) lists, imposing consequences if it failed to address the growing extremist threats. However, recent emails obtained by the American Center for Law and Justice (ACLJ) through the Freedom of Information Act (FOIA) revealed that Biden administration seemed more preoccupied with promoting its woke agenda than prioritizing religious freedom. The State Department, while considering removing Nigeria from the CPC list, explored funding projects such as a documentary series examining religious practice in Nigerian society and investigating social constructs like gender roles. This focus on woke initiatives, while ignoring the severe persecution happening on the ground, is a clear indication of misplaced priorities, according to Pompeo. Pompeo urged that the Biden administration approach stems from its progressive ideology, which disregards the significance of religion. He asserted that top leaders in the administration failed to recognize the importance of religious faith and view it as just one cultural characteristic or a feature of regressive societies. Consequently, the administration overlooks religious persecution and interprets conflicts through lenses of race, ethnicity, and gender. This shift in focus, Pompeo warned, has resulted in devastating consequences. The Biden administration's failure to acknowledge and combat rising Islamic terrorism against Christians demonstrates its lack of preparedness and understanding. Instead of addressing the persecution occurring for religious reasons, the administration often attributes instability to issues like climate change and economic inequality. Pompeo cited the recent Sub-Saharan African strategy, which did not mention securing religious freedom but focused on reducing carbon emissions. Pompeo argued that the Biden administration's detachment from reality has allowed acts of terror and violence by militant Islamic groups in Sub-Saharan Africa to increase significantly. Sub-Saharan Africa has become the new epicenter of terrorism, with a 22% rise in terrorist activities and a corresponding increase in fatalities. The former Secretary of State attributed this trend in part to the Biden administration's failure to prioritize combating terrorism and persecution. Pompeo stressed that the foreign policy that upholds religious freedom is crucial to Americans' interests. The Biden administration's ignorance of the persecutions faced by Nigerian Christians and its failure to defend religious freedom as a core tenet of U.S. foreign policy demonstrates a fundamental misunderstanding of global dynamics. He urged the administration to rectify this error and take concrete action in Nigeria to save lives.
Meanwhile, BRGIEPM responded Pompeo's comments on Twitter. The Biafran Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa took to his Twitter to respond to a statement made by the former US Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo. In his tweet, the Prime Minister addressed Pompeo directly, expressing his concerns and opinions on various issues. The tweet read as follows, I quote, "Dear Mike Pompeo, the greatest mistake America will make is to not support Biafran referendum and allow us to go into another civil war, which is already secretly being fought. Nigeria Islamic State is the biggest threat to America. We continue to wonder why America always supports the Islamic agenda but ignores Christians. The weapons you supply to the Taliban in Afghanistan are now being used by Hezbollah against Israel. The weapons you supply to Islamic extremists in Libya to kill Gaddafi are now being used to kill Christians in Nigeria. The people of Biafra have taken up arms to defend themselves, yet you all pretend not to hear or read about it. You know the truth but refuse to condemn Secretary Blinken when he removed Nigeria from the list without any good reason, because POTUS is in charge. This is the reason many of us are praying for real Donald Trump to come and save the world. It may sound crazy, but the world needs Trump, who is a match for these crazy guys. Talking about Nigeria and not mentioning Biafra is a double standard. The statement was attributed to Prime Minister Simon Ekpa, the spokesperson for the Biafran Republic government in exile. The response from the Prime Minister on Twitter reflects his concerns regarding the situation in Nigeria. The alleged support of the Islamic agenda by the United States and the need for international attention to the plight of Biafrans. It also emphasizes the importance of recognizing the efforts of the Biafran people in defending themselves and the desire for support and for a Biafran referendum. As developments unfold, we will continue to monitor the situation and provide updates.